Hi, this is Rob Drummond at the Confusion Clinic. This 7-day course is all about creating better nurture emails, and specifically creating better story-based nurture emails. So if you think about systems like Infusionsoft, Aweber, MailChimp, I think that most of the emails that you put into these systems tend to be nurture emails. So a nurture email generally is where you might not necessarily be selling something, but you're looking to build a relationship with the person that you're sending the email to. So the opposite of a nurture email might be a sales email, where you're sending an email about a specific promotion that's ending soon, for example. That probably would not be a nurture email. And I think that tools like Infusionsoft are primarily relationship building tools, and the majority of emails you send out through these systems should actually be nurture emails. And we all instinctively know that telling stories is a great way to get attention. But the problem is that when we go to write a story in our follow-up emails, we get intimidated, because storytelling is a bit like this campfire situation down on the left here, where that's the image that comes up into my mind, is a campfire situation where someone is holding court around a captivated audience. And that's very intimidating, that's quite hard to do. Let me tell you that that storyteller is not me. I am not your stereotypical storyteller. I am far more likely to be sitting at the back of the group, drinking whiskey, making snide comments. That is far more my role. So we're going to look at how to write stories, even if you don't consider yourself a writer, because I think I have a very specific process that you're going to follow over the next 7 days. So in 7 days' time, you're going to be able to use stories in your nurture emails. That is my promise to you. You don't have to be a writer right now. You might hate writing. It doesn't matter. As long as you engage with the emails I'm going to send you over the next 7 days, you will come out of this with a skill to write better story-based nurture emails. My journey to Infusionsoft actually started with CRM. So CRM is Customer Relationship Management. So straight out of university, I got a job with a software company near London called Prospectsoft, which was a software company that sold CRM systems. So we sold CRM systems, and then later on we also added on e-commerce and email marketing. So the proposition was actually quite similar to Infusionsoft, only we used to go in on the client site and install this big giant thing on their servers. But it was a great education. Like I spent 4 years at Prospectsoft, and it was very hands-on. This photo was taken in August 2007, and what you can't see there is underneath my desk is actually a big pile of mailers that we'd just been stuffing into envelopes. So it was a real education in practical marketing, in just how to do stuff, basically. But what I found was that after 4 years, I was doing most of the marketing, but I was bored, and I wasn't earning very much. And one evening, I went for a meal with Lindsay, who's now my wife, and I said, "Look, I think I'm going to hand in my notice." And she thought it was a bad idea. She thought I should have stuck at it. But I said, how hard can it be? How hard could it be? So anyway, I wrote my resignation letter, and I went into work the next day, and I was having a conversation with my manager, who was the sales director, and he asks me, "So how many clients do you have, Rob?" And I said, none yet. So the warning bells were there, but I set off on this journey of self-employment, and I left Prospectsoft, and I very quickly realised I was running out of money, and Lindsay was giving me disapproving looks, and I thought, I have to do something. So I went and walked around local shops where I used to live. I used to live in High Wycombe near London, and I used to walk around local shops asking shop owners if they'd like to talk to me about SMS text messaging, which was my first venture as a self-employed person. And I can tell you actually in hindsight that SMS text messaging is not something that local businesses want to talk to you about. I experienced a huge amount of rejection. I would walk into shops, speak to shop assistants, and they would tell me to go away. And then one day I walked into this hair salon, Emile de Londres in Beaconsfield, and out of chance I spoke to the hair salon owner, who was called Emile, and I asked him if he was interested in SMS text messaging, and he said, no thank you, my accountant deals with my taxes. And I said to him, no, not taxes, text messaging, like on your phone. And he says, well, I don't think I need that, but can you get me to the top of Google? So I said, yeah, I think I can actually. So I went back a week later with my laptop, and I'd prepared a website in WordPress, and we sat there on a bench in his hair salon, and there's customers around us having their hair blow dried, like in the dryers. And he says, oh, it's very nice, so how much is it going to cost? And I went, oh, it's going to be so many hours, so many pounds an hour, so £300. And he says, £300? No way, that's far too expensive. I've had quotes in the past for £100. So, which is stupid, but I was like, yeah, fine, I'll do it. So I decided, right, well, perhaps I should stop trying to sell text messaging services and become a web designer. So I put out a message to a few local networking groups, and one of the groups that got back to me was a group called The Network. And they got back to me and they said, we're very sorry, Rob, but we've already got an incumbent web designer, but you'd be very welcome to come along in a different capacity. So I thought, right, no problem. I got some business cards printed. Rob Drummond, Google AdWords expert, which was sort of true, but I wasn't actually doing any active Google AdWords work at the time. And I went along and I talked to people in the group about my budding yet non-existent Google AdWords management service, and that allowed me to build a few relationships. It allowed me to establish a bit of credibility that I knew what I was talking about. And I picked up my first few AdWords clients, and actually it was going really well. So this is a screenshot from one of my accounts back in 2013. So I started managing the account at the point where the conversions start to rise. So we went from generating, in this account, we went from generating 0 inquiries a day to generating 2 to 4 inquiries a day. And I was like, yes, this is going well. I am good at this. And then one day the phone would go, and it would be the client. And he'd say, we're very sorry, Rob, but the inquiries that we've been generating, they just haven't led to sales. And I was like, oh, I was losing clients over this. And something that I noticed at the time that was very interesting was that 2 of my most interesting clients happened to use Infusionsoft. And those clients took marketing automation very seriously, and they took long-term follow-up very seriously. So what I did was I put out a message on the Perry Marshall Mastermind forum, which I'm part of, and just asked, are there any Infusionsoft users who would like me to help you work on your Infusionsoft accounts for free, because I needed to learn the app and I needed some experience. Unfortunately, a few people got back to me, so I did a bit of work. This is a screenshot from some work I did for a company in Alaska who had a whole bunch of campaigns that needed moving into Campaign Builder. And since that point, I've done all sorts of jobs in Infusionsoft. I've done copywriting, I've built out nurture sequences, I've built out campaigns, I've built out sales funnels. And what's very interesting is that it's not about Google traffic. It's not about conversion. It's really about the importance of CRM and the importance of having a database and a system that nurtures cold prospects to hot customers. So that's what we're talking about in this 7-day course. We're going to be talking about how to write better nurture emails in whatever system you use. So it could be Infusionsoft, it could be MailChimp, it doesn't really matter. We're going to be talking about how to create better story-based nurture emails in-house without relying on an expensive external copywriter. So the structure that I follow for nurture emails always follows an open sandwich format. So I always start off my emails with a story. The story is like the filling that you can see in the photo here. At some point, though, we have to stop telling the story and we have to move into the content. And the content is like the bread underneath. But what most people do with their nurture emails is because they get intimidated about telling stories, or they don't know what stories to tell. They don't tell stories. But it's a story that it's a story that gets your reader's attention, and it's the story that pulls the reader in and gets them to read the bread and gets them to read the content. What we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to look at the timeline technique, and we're going to talk more specifically about the story that I've just told you. So please keep an eye out for that video tomorrow.